I turned 50 in 1976. That was the year I stopped worrying about what other people thought. The year I finally understood how the world worked. I had the house, the title, the respect. I remember standing in my driveway one Saturday morning, looking at everything I'd built and thinking, I made it. And the worst part is, I didn't realize I was failing until everyone stopped waiting for me. If you're anywhere near 50 right now and you think you've figured it out, I need you to pay attention, because I thought the same thing, and I was wrong about everything that actually mattered. I'm 98 now. My wife Ellen is gone. My kids visit out of obligation, not love. And the career I sacrificed everything for ended 30 years ago. Nobody even remembers what I did. But I remember every single moment I chose wrong. And I'm going to tell you what those moments were, so maybe you won't waste the next 40 years the way I did. The first thing I got wrong in my 50s was believing my job would protect me. I was regional sales director for a manufacturing company. I traveled 22 days a month. Denver, Chicago, Atlanta. I closed contracts that kept 300 people employed. I wore suits that cost more than my father made in a year. And I told myself this was what success looked like, that I was building something permanent. But here's what I didn't see. Every time I chose a client dinner over my son's baseball game, every time I missed my daughter's birthday because of a morning flight, I was trading my family for a company that didn't love me back. They replaced me 8 months after I retired. My position doesn't even exist anymore. My son graduated high school in 1981. I was in Phoenix closing a deal. I called him from the hotel that night. He said, "It's okay, Dad. I understand." And I believed him. I thought he meant it, but he didn't mean it. He just stopped expecting me to show up. And that's not forgiveness. That's surrender. At the time, it felt responsible. Years later, it felt unforgivable. I didn't understand that at the time. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought providing was the same as being present. It wasn't. The second thing I got wrong was thinking time would wait for me to be ready. At 50, I felt young. I looked at my parents in their 70s and I thought, I have decades before I'm there. Decades to fix things. Decades to slow down and finally be the husband and father I kept promising I'd become. I told Ellen we'd travel after I retired. I told my kids I'd be around more once things calmed down at work. But here's the thing, nobody tells you about time. It doesn't announce itself. You don't get a warning. One day you're 50, making plans. The next day you're 70, and the people you were going to spend time with have stopped waiting. My daughter got married in 1984. I gave a speech at the reception. People clapped. I talked about sacrifice and hard work and what it takes to build a life. And I thought it was a good speech. But Ellen didn't clap. She sat there with this look on her face, and I didn't understand what it meant. Not then. She wasn't proud. She was exhausted from waiting for me to choose her, exhausted from hearing me explain why I was never there. That was the first moment I should have paid attention. I didn't, but I didn't know that yet. The third thing I got wrong, and this one took me 30 years to see clearly, was believing my children would wait for me to be ready to be a father. I have a granddaughter. Her name is Claire. She's 35 now. When she was 8 years old, maybe 9, she asked me to come to her soccer games. Just once in a while, she said, just so I could see her play. I went to one game, one in 4 years. I told her I'd come to the next one. I meant it when I said it, but I never went. Work came up. It always came up. She stopped asking after that. I thought that was fine. I thought she understood. I thought kids were flexible, that they'd always be there when I was finally ready. But kids don't stay kids. They grow up. They build lives without you. And if you're not there when they need you, they stop needing you. Last year, Claire had a baby. My first great-grandchild. I didn't get a phone call. I didn't get a text. I found out on Facebook. I didn't feel sad at first. That came later. What I felt in that moment was much worse, and I don't blame her. Why would she call? I wasn't there for her soccer games. Why would she think I'd care about her baby? That moment, seeing that photo on my screen, was the first time I really understood what I'd lost. Not in theory, not as an idea, but physically, in my chest. I'd spent 40 years thinking my absence was temporary, that I'd reconnect later, that there'd be time. There wasn't time, and now it's too late. But there's one thing I haven't told you yet. One thing that's harder to admit than all the rest. The fourth thing I got wrong, and this is the one that keeps me awake at 3 a.m., was thinking I could build respect in the world while losing it at home. I wanted people at work to admire me. I wanted neighbors to see the car, the house, the life I'd built. I wanted my name on plaques. And I got that, for a while. But Ellen didn't care about any of it. She never did. She just wanted me to sit with her in the evening without thinking about work. She wanted me to ask about her day and actually listen. She wanted me to be there. Not just physically present, but actually there. I wasn't. And somewhere around 1990, I think, she stopped hoping I'd change. I didn't notice when it happened. I just noticed one day that we didn't really talk anymore. We lived together. We were polite, but we were strangers, and I told myself that was normal, that all marriages got quiet after 30 years. It wasn't normal. It was the result of me choosing everything else first, every single day, for decades. That changed in 2003. The fifth thing I got wrong, and maybe this is the one that defines everything else, was not understanding what Ellen was really asking me all those years. She got sick in 2007. Cancer. By 2009, she was in hospice. And one afternoon, near the end, I was sitting next to her bed. She was half asleep, sedated, and I thought she couldn't hear me. But she opened her eyes, and she said something I'll never forget. She said, "You spent 50 years performing for people who didn't love you, and you ignored the one person who did." She wasn't angry. She was just stating a fact. And then she said something else, something I've been thinking about every day since. She said, "I stopped waiting for you in 1990. I just didn't tell you." I asked her why she stayed if she'd given up hope. She said, "Because I loved you, but I couldn't make you love me back the way I needed." That was 2 weeks before she died. And here's the part I can't forgive myself for. When she told me she'd stopped waiting in 1990, my first thought wasn't sadness. It wasn't regret. It was relief. Relief that I hadn't been wrong all those years. Relief that I didn't have to feel guilty anymore because she'd already let go. I didn't recognize myself in that moment. I was relieved that my wife had given up on me, and I didn't even realize how broken that was until she was gone. The sixth thing I got wrong was thinking success would eventually feel like something. I kept waiting for the moment when I'd feel like I'd made it, when I'd feel proud, satisfied, complete. But that moment never came. Even at the peak, when I had the title and the money and the respect, I just felt tired and scared it would disappear. So I kept working, kept pushing, kept sacrificing. I thought the feeling was coming. I thought I just needed one more promotion, one more year, one more deal. But the feeling never came, because I was chasing something that didn't exist. The seventh thing I got wrong was believing my absence was temporary. I told myself I was working for them, for Ellen, for the kids, that the sacrifices were short-term, that once I hit a certain level, I'd come back and everything would be fine. But absence isn't temporary, it's cumulative. Every missed dinner, every skipped game, Every time you say, "not now," or "I'm too tired," or "maybe next time," you're not delaying presence. You're choosing absence, and absence builds into a wall. And one day you wake up on the other side of that wall, and the people you love are so far away you can't reach them anymore. My son calls me once a month. We talk for 10 minutes. He's kind, but he doesn't need me. My daughter visits twice a year. She brings food. She checks that I'm okay. She leaves. Claire sent me one photo of her baby. I keep it on my fridge. It's the only one I have. A few months ago, I tried calling Claire. It went straight to voicemail. I didn't leave a message. I realized I didn't know what I'd even say. That's when it hit me. I didn't just miss moments. I missed my place in their lives. I wasn't pushed out. I slowly removed myself. And one day, there was no door back in. They're good people. They've built full lives. And I'm not part of them. I'm the old man they check on out of obligation. Not love. Obligation. And that's what I got wrong in my 50s. I thought I was building a future. I was building loneliness. I can't fix it now. Ellen is gone. My kids have moved on. Claire doesn't call, and I don't blame any of them. But if you're reading this, if you're in your 50s or younger, and you think you have time, I need you to understand something. You don't. Not as much as you think. I thought love would understand my absence. It didn't. The people you love won't wait forever. They'll stop hoping. They'll stop asking. And one day, you'll be where I am, 98 years old, alone, wishing you'd made different choices when it still mattered. I can't go back, but you still can.